Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. We thought that the summer, now that it's in full swing, many of us will be taking vacations, and the audience might like to know what each of the members of our panel are going to be reading during summer vacation. So we want to talk about that. Brad Kroon, what are you going to be reading this summer?
Well, I've got a really fun book. It's a summer thriller, Rescue of the Bounty. It's about the HMS Bounty that moved out of Booth Bay Harbor in Maine and sunk off the North Carolina coast during Hurricane Sandy. And it's just it's not real deep, but it's just a page turner.
It's just sort of light reading.
Highlights the
We call it a
graveyard of
beach
the
book?
Atlantic. It is a beach book.
All right, John Hood, what are you going to be reading this summer?
I have some light reading too. This is called A History of the Philosophy of Law from the Ancient Greeks to the Scholastics.
Be still my heart.
And I think, it's one of these light beach type reading, though I also notice it's very carefully bound. It's really well bound. It's very dark. I can look at myself in it if I get bored, and I think it would make an excellent projectile.
That seems to me like one of those books that you hold at night as you're trying to go to sleep, and it
Those pages
I am
aren't
looking forward.
either, I
I am
promise
looking
you.
forward to reading this book.
Chris Fitzsimon,
Well,
what are you going to
save
be
you the
reading?
trouble. I saw the movie. Riveting.
Read the comic
Actually,
strip.
there's a historian named Ron Perlstein who has had a trilogy of books, and this one came out last year called The Invisible Bridge, from the fall of Nixon to the rise of Reagan. It's sort of a current events, sort of popular history of what happened to the conservative movement, which it's fascinating. And I think it gives you a lot of interesting about information, for example, how the POW-MIA movement started, how the Republican Party transitioned. It's pretty interesting.
Becky, what are you going to be reading?
I'm actually reading two books right now. One is Martin Gilbert's biography of Winston Churchill, and the other one is
And he is a pretty good
Gingrich's-
Churchill historian.
Yes,
Yeah.
very interesting. And this whole, understanding leaders,
Yeah.
if you will. The other book that I'm reading is Newt Gingrich's new book called Understanding Trump. And reading
Must be
these,
long.
it's very short.
Does Gingrich pretend to understand Trump?
Yes, and he's been inside the Trump administration. He was an advisor.
A lot of blank
And,
pages.
No, really. But he is the president of the United States.
Right.
He is going to be the president. And so to understand where he came from, where these, whether you agree with it or not, or what your opinion is of his leadership style, I think it's important to understand where that comes from. So reading these two books together has really been very interesting.
Interesting. Well, I am reading Ben Sass's, Senator Ben Sass from Nebraska's book called The Vanishing American Adult. It is an interesting story which is talking about the fact that young adults are not, in fact, acting like adults. For instance, he says that of the young people that start college, only 40% graduate. He says a third of the 18 to 34-year-old millennials still live with their parents. And for 13-year-old and above, they spend 60% of their waking hours on social media. He talks about, parenting, where parenting could have perhaps improved. It's a good book. I've just gotten it started. I'll report back to you later. Well, thanks for watching the Afterspin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.